Something has already begun moving in silence, and that is why you must not skip this moment. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the meaning of what you are hearing now may settle deeply into your heart long after this message is over. At this very hour, while you are listening, a powerful thought about commitment is reaching someone connected to your story. It is not arriving with noise, not with sudden words, not with visible signs that everyone can see. It is arriving quietly, almost like a whisper that refuses to leave their mind. They may be trying to focus on ordinary things, trying to continue their routine, trying to pretend nothing unusual is happening, yet again and again the same feeling returns, an inner pull, a question, a realization they can no longer push away. Do not skip, because what happens inside a heart before a decision is made often begins invisibly. There are moments when a person suddenly understands the value of what has been standing before them all along. Not because someone forced them, not because someone explained it perfectly, but because something deeper touches them at the right time. Today carries that kind of weight. A thought has entered them with unusual strength, and they cannot explain why your presence feels louder in memory than it did before. They may have heard a simple sentence, seen an ordinary scene, remembered an old conversation, or paused during a quiet minute, and suddenly commitment no longer feels distant to them. Suddenly, what once looked complicated begins to look meaningful. Suddenly, what they tried to delay begins to feel important. Stay till the end, because this shift is not random. The reason this is touching them now is deeply emotional. They are beginning to understand that real connection is rare. They are seeing that loyalty, patience, sincerity, and emotional truth are not common gifts. What once blended into the background now stands in front of them with clarity. They are comparing many things in silence, and the conclusion forming inside them is stronger than they expected. That is why the atmosphere around them feels different even if no one around them notices it. Their mind may still be busy, but their heart has become still enough to hear something important. And when the heart becomes still, hidden truths begin to rise. A memory connected to you may appear suddenly, unexpectedly, powerfully, without invitation. It may be a tone of voice, a moment of kindness, a detail others would forget but they cannot. And strangely, that memory carries weight today. It does not leave quickly. It stays. Do not skip, because this is where many people miss what matters most. Before outward change, there is inward recognition. They are asking themselves questions they did not ask before. Questions about permanence. Questions about sincerity. Questions about what truly deserves effort. And every answer keeps circling back toward one emotional center they cannot ignore. This is why the message reaching them now feels powerful. It is not just about making a decision. It is about understanding why a decision matters. For a long time, they may have believed there would always be more time, another day, another moment, another chance to think later. But today carries a different feeling. Something inside them is saying that certain things should not remain unspoken forever. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The reason this may touch your heart is because what is reaching them is not cold logic, it is tenderness. It is the realization that genuine commitment is not built on perfection. It is built on choosing what feels true even when emotions are difficult to explain. And perhaps for the first time in a while, they are seeing commitment not as pressure, but as protection. Not as loss, but as meaning. Not as fear, but as peace. That realization changes everything inside a person. Even if they do not speak immediately, even if silence continues for a little longer, something has already changed in the private space where real decisions are born. You may not hear the words yet, but movement has begun. A certain softness is entering their thoughts. A certain seriousness is replacing hesitation. A certain warmth is touching places that once remained guarded. Do not skip this, because there are rare moments when the unseen becomes stronger than what is visible. They may suddenly notice how deeply certain absences affect them. They may understand why some names carry comfort even when not spoken aloud. They may begin to realize why some people remain present in the mind long after conversations end. And this understanding is arriving now for a reason. Because sometimes the heart opens only when it is finally ready to admit what it has quietly protected. Stay till the end, because the next part carries what happens when this realization becomes impossible for them to ignore. But listen carefully, because what is unfolding now is even deeper than it first appeared. What began as a quiet thought inside them is no longer remaining small. It is growing stronger with every passing moment, and that is why you must not skip this part. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the truth forming inside them is reaching a point where it can no longer be ignored. A powerful message about commitment is not only touching their mind, it is beginning to settle into their emotions. They may try to distract themselves, speak normally, continue their day as if everything is unchanged, yet beneath that surface a powerful realization continues repeating itself. Some connections deserve seriousness, and some feelings are too meaningful to leave unfinished. This is not ordinary reflection. This is the kind of inner moment that changes how someone sees the future. There are rare times when a person suddenly notices how deeply one presence has shaped their thinking. Not loudly, not dramatically, but with quiet force. A single memory returns, and with it comes understanding. A simple detail begins to matter more than before. A voice remembered softly becomes impossible to dismiss. Do not skip, because what they are experiencing now is unusual even for them. They are beginning to connect small moments that once seemed ordinary. A sentence once heard now sounds different in memory. A past silence now feels meaningful. A kindness they once passed over now appears brighter than before. And as these pieces come together, one truth becomes difficult to avoid. Commitment is not frightening when the heart recognizes something genuine. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The reason this thought touches them so deeply is because they are no longer looking only at feelings, they are looking at what remains when everything else becomes quiet. And what remains keeps leading them back to the same emotional center. They may even wonder why this understanding has arrived so suddenly. Why today feels heavier. Why certain thoughts carry unexpected warmth. Why the future suddenly looks different from how it looked before. And the answer is simple: some truths wait for the exact right moment before becoming clear. A person can delay many things, but when the heart begins speaking with honesty, even silence becomes difficult to maintain. That is where they are now, standing inside a quiet realization they did not expect to feel this strongly. Do not skip this moment, because there is more happening than they are showing outwardly. They may not yet have words ready. They may not know how to explain why your place in their thoughts feels stronger now. But inwardly, they are already measuring what commitment truly means. They are asking what deserves permanence. They are questioning what they once left uncertain. And something surprising is happening. What once looked distant now feels close. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The message reaching them carries emotion because it reminds them that meaningful bonds are not built every day. Some people pass through life lightly, but some leave an imprint that returns again and again when serious thoughts begin. That imprint is speaking now. A calm but powerful certainty is forming. Real care cannot remain undefined forever. Even if they say nothing immediately, even if the outside remains ordinary, their inside is changing shape. Their attention is shifting. Their priorities are becoming clearer. Their hesitation is meeting something stronger than doubt. And once this happens, a person begins noticing signs they previously ignored. They notice how certain names create peace. They notice how certain thoughts return without effort. They notice how the idea of commitment suddenly feels less like pressure and more like belonging. Do not skip, because this is the exact place where hidden decisions begin. They may replay moments privately, wondering why some memories carry unusual warmth now. They may compare everything around them and quietly admit that not everything touches the heart equally. This is why today feels important. Because sometimes before any visible step is taken, there is a silent agreement inside the heart, a moment where someone admits that what they feel deserves truth. Stay till the end, because the next part reveals what happens when this silent agreement becomes too strong to remain hidden. And now the silence around them is becoming more meaningful than ever before. Do not skip this moment, because something huge is waiting for you, and what is happening now inside them carries more emotional weight than they expected. What began as a passing thought has become a steady inner voice, returning again and again with unusual clarity, almost as if every quiet second is repeating the same message. Commitment deserves honesty when the heart has already recognized where peace lives. They may still appear calm on the outside, but inwardly something powerful is unfolding. A person does not always reveal the exact second their perspective changes, yet there is always a moment when hesitation loses strength and truth begins to rise. That moment is near for them now. Stay till the end, because this part matters deeply. A powerful message about commitment is reaching them through ordinary moments in extraordinary ways. A simple pause in the day feels heavier than before. A familiar thought suddenly carries emotion. Even small reminders now seem impossible to ignore. It is as though everything around them is quietly pointing toward one conclusion they can no longer push aside. They are beginning to understand that some connections remain present because they were never ordinary to begin with. And that realization is touching them more than they expected. There is a kind of surprise that arrives when someone notices how often one person returns to their thoughts during serious moments. Not during distraction, not during noise, but during stillness. When the mind becomes honest and the heart stops pretending not to know. That is where they are now. Do not skip, because hidden truths often become strongest in still moments. They may suddenly feel the weight of unfinished words. They may remember a conversation and hear it differently now. They may think about a moment they once considered small, only to realize it carried more meaning than they understood at the time. This is how inner change often begins, quietly, repeatedly, deeply. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The reason this message is powerful enough to touch your heart is because it is not built on sudden emotion alone. It is built on recognition. They are beginning to see that commitment is not only about speaking beautiful words, it is about valuing what continues to remain important even after time passes. And your presence has not faded in the place where real feelings stay. That surprises them. Because sometimes people expect distance to weaken meaning, but instead certain thoughts return stronger, clearer, and more impossible to deny. They may now be asking themselves why your memory carries peace when other thoughts do not. Why certain possibilities involving you feel warm instead of uncertain. Why the idea of commitment suddenly feels connected to hope rather than hesitation. Do not skip, because what they are discovering is rare. A person can hide from many emotions, but once sincerity begins speaking inside, avoidance becomes difficult. They may still delay outward action, but inwardly they are already standing in a new understanding. They are noticing that what matters most is not loud attention, it is quiet consistency, remembered kindness, and the feeling that something true remains even when nothing is spoken. This is why today carries unusual emotional force. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A surprising softness is entering their thoughts. Their heart is no longer examining only fears or questions, it is beginning to imagine what trust would look like if fully embraced. And that changes everything. Because once someone imagines commitment with peace instead of doubt, they begin seeing the future differently. They begin understanding why some names stay close. Why some memories return at unexpected hours. Why some people continue to matter long after ordinary explanations end. Do not skip this part, because there is more beneath the surface than anyone around them knows. Even now, while they move through ordinary hours, something inside continues building quietly. A private conclusion is forming. A deeper respect is growing. A stronger emotional truth is becoming impossible to dismiss. And when such truth reaches full clarity, silence itself begins preparing for change. Stay till the end, because the next part reveals what happens when this feeling becomes strong enough that even they can no longer hold it only inside. Now the quiet feeling inside them is reaching a point where it refuses to remain hidden. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and this part carries the moment where inner realization begins turning into something far more powerful. What they have been feeling silently is no longer passing through them like a temporary thought. It is staying, returning, deepening, and shaping the way they look at everything connected to commitment. Stay till the end, because the meaning of this moment is stronger than it first appears. There comes a rare point when someone stops asking whether a feeling is real and begins asking what should be done with it. That point is forming now. They are no longer only noticing emotion, they are beginning to understand responsibility inside emotion. This is why today feels different. A powerful message about commitment is reaching them not as pressure, but as clarity. The kind of clarity that arrives when the heart becomes tired of uncertainty and starts longing for what is genuine, stable, and true. They may not speak immediately, yet their silence is no longer empty. Their silence is full of thought. And inside that thought, one truth keeps returning: some connections deserve courage. Do not skip this moment. They are replaying details that once seemed ordinary, but now those same details carry extraordinary meaning. A small act of kindness, a remembered tone, a moment of patience, a quiet presence, these things are becoming larger in their mind because they now understand that commitment is often built from what seemed small at first. That realization touches them deeply. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What surprises them most is how naturally your presence returns when they think about what feels emotionally safe. In moments when they imagine sincerity, your memory appears. In moments when they imagine steadiness, your presence remains. In moments when they question what truly matters, one emotional truth keeps standing there without effort. This is not something they planned. It is something they discovered. And discovery changes a person differently than expectation ever can. Do not skip, because once someone discovers what their heart values, they begin changing quietly in ways even they cannot fully explain. Their thoughts may now be softer than before. Their attention may linger where it once moved quickly. Their heart may pause where it once hesitated. This is how inward certainty grows. Not loudly. Not suddenly. But with quiet force that becomes impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A once-in-a-lifetime realization often begins like this. A person notices that despite every distraction, one emotional truth remains present with unusual strength. They may try to focus elsewhere, but certain thoughts return. They may try to reason differently, but sincerity keeps speaking louder. And what sincerity is telling them now is simple: commitment has meaning only where the heart feels peace. That is why this message is touching them. Because they are beginning to understand that commitment is not only about choosing a future, it is about recognizing who already holds emotional weight in the present. Do not skip this part. Even now, while they move through ordinary conversations and ordinary hours, something extraordinary is happening privately. Hesitation is weakening. And when hesitation weakens, truth becomes clearer. They may soon realize that what they once delayed deserves attention now. That what they once left undefined deserves honesty now. That what they once kept in silence deserves a place in real thought now. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. This is the moment where hidden emotion becomes serious enough to shape intention. Not because anyone forced it, but because some truths become too strong to remain only feelings. And when a heart reaches that point, even one small step can carry enormous meaning. The next part reveals what happens when this inner certainty reaches the moment where it can no longer stay only in thought.